Have you ever heard somebody mention anything about in regards to stuff in the past, right? When you will go to people that have done you wrong or have done something to you, and then you bring it back up and you address the people that was a part of that said thing that happened in the past. And then one of the things they say was that happened in the past, you just gotta let it go. Do you know how insensitive that person would have to be able to say something like that and then just go on their life as if nothing happened? But then when you go and you address it and then you come with cold hard facts that is truly undeniable and it will act like it never happened. Well, an aspect of that is someone have experienced trauma, hurt, pain, suffering because of whatever it is that this person or people have done. And when you go back and address it and they give you this, oh, you got to let that go. That happened in the past. They're not ready to have that conversation with you. And you can tell by that because they'd be quick to deflect that. They don't want to talk about it. It's history. It's done. Is over with. No. If this is something that caused hurt and pain to someone and they want to talk about it and they want to express it to those individuals that it happened with, right? Everybody should be on the same page with that. In no way, shape, or form should you be deflecting that away from those people just because you act like it did not happen. For one, you should be hearing this person out because you don't know how much this person has went through, especially through a duration of time. If this is something happened in your childhood and then when you address it in your adulthood, you don't know how that individual felt. You don't know if they felt disempowered, if they were scared, or they was afraid, or they didn't know how to address it being a kid. I'm just using this as an example. So when you become an adult, you address these situations, especially when you have the facts, you have the receipts, and every point on the mark, and you let them know that. And then sometimes they don't want to hear it. They do not want to hear it. You know why? People do not like to face themselves because it brings up the parts of themselves that they themselves feel like they were justified in being that way. And no, you're not justified in being that way. Many people out here that's felt disempowered because somebody overpowered them, whatever way the situation looked like. And people will act like it never happened. And then when you go back and address that, they will sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm not apologizing for all of that. I ain't do nothing wrong. Like, yeah, you did do something wrong. But guess what? They're going to have to sit with that. No matter how they feel, no matter what they say what you need to say. Get it off your chest. Because you can't hold on to that. Because eventually it's going to come out in some kind of way. And it may affect somebody else that don't even deserve that type of energy. Because of something that somebody else did. So if this person finally like, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to address this. And I'm going to speak exactly how I feel. Despite what the other person feel. But I'm going to let them know how I feel. You may get some drawback from that, but guess what? You can release that energy knowing that, you know what? I did what I needed to do. I tried to rectify it. And in some cases, it may get rectified. Everybody change at some point in time, but some people stay the same and they don't change and they stay stuck in a constant loop over and over and over again. And within them being stuck in that loop, the same behavior patterns show up because these people don't want to face themselves. That's some of the hardest things that people got to learn in this day and age is facing themselves. Some people can't even look in the mirror at themselves and face themselves. Outside of them brushing their teeth, washing their face, outside of that, people do not want to face themselves. You know why? Because you will see the shadow. You will see the shadow. You will see the part of you that you will feel disgusted by. And you will have to sit with that. And you got to live with that because guess what? There was something that you could have did to change that, but you chose not to because your ego got in the way of it. That's why. So before anybody go and say, oh, that's the past, you got to let that go. No, let's have this conversation first and then I will let it go. I want y'all to think about that because there's a lot of people that live in society that are just like that. And then they expect you to show up for them in all of these different ways, but they seem to forget the shit that they did in the past. And then when you bring it up, all of a sudden, they don't want to hear none of that. Oh, no, you're going to hear it today. You're going to hear it. One thing I feel that people need to start doing this day and age, they need to start speaking their truth despite how anybody feel about it. Because you are justified in that. And I don't want to hear nobody say, oh, that's the ego talking. No, the fuck is not. It's not the ego talking. It's the truth coming out. And people don't want to live with that. And they have a problem with that. And then as soon as you go and you address these situations, all of a sudden, shit start to change. They want to get in their feelings. How you think these people felt during that time? You don't think they ain't feel like how you feel right now? They got to think about that. And the reason why I'm addressing this is because this was something that I experienced. I'm not going to say who because that's nobody's business. But what I will say is there's power in you speaking up for yourself, standing up for yourself, honoring how you feel, and expressing these things to the people that did these things. You know why? Because you cut the cord. Because you grew up, you elevated, you've changed your ways. You stepping into a new version of yourself, and that requires you to stand up for yourself. Bring out the inner authority, that inner wisdom, that inner knowledge, the things that light you up. That's how you get your power back from these situations. It may not be the only way. That's one of the ways in which you can do it. Even if the person do not want to hear it, express how you feel. And then you will receive clarity from that. The how you need to move forward. And then you know what boundaries that you need to set to keep people from stepping over that again. Don't ever make anybody think that they can step over you or nobody's doormat. And don't let nobody step on you. You need to stand up for yourself. And I know somebody out here needs to hear this message because I myself needed to hear that at one point in time. And see, I had to grow up and I had to evolve and I had to express myself and I had to set boundaries. And guess what? I feel okay about that. You know why? Because people know how to step to me moving forward. They may not like it, but guess what? You have no choice but to deal with it. That's how you bring about change. And that's how people will start to respect you. You don't have to dominate them. Let them know exactly how you feel. And then moving forward, you set firm boundaries, and if they cross them boundaries, you yourself can set the rules of how you're going to deal with that situation. Don't let it destroy you. Don't let that energy eat you up, but you're going to have to express it in some way, shape, or form. Do not allow this energy to put you into the sunken place. Express how you feel. If not, this energy is going to continue to come to you in different ways, and you will start to take it out on people that you did not need to take it out on. That was a lesson I had to learn. Sometimes it takes time to grow through that. It's growing pains. It's all a part of you growing up and it's all a part of you evolving. But at some point in time, you got to address the elephant in the room. You feel empowered, not because you stepped on somebody. No, you feel empowered because you expressed how you felt and you got out everything that you needed to say, whether or not this person is accepting of it or not. You said what you said and that's it. You can move on with your life knowing that that energy got rectified. Set them boundaries, though. Be firm in your inner knowing, in your inner wisdom, and your inner knowledge. And let people know how you want to be treated. And if they don't treat you a certain way, you don't have to be around them. You can excuse yourself. Walk away. That's the message for today.